George Graham's long-awaited return to Arsenal became a reality this afternoon and immediately brought an emphatic response from the fans who saw him bring so much success to the club.
He should have stayed there, he should never have gone in the first place. He's not the only one, is he, that's done something bad?
I think George Graham is the Arsenal. You know, I don't think, if Arsenal hadn't been doing well in the league at the time, I don't think Arsenal would ever get rid of him.
Well, I thought he was an Arsenal man through and through,
yeah.
And he just let the club down.
But there weren't many people who held that view. On the contrary, the warm applause that greeted the former Arsenal manager was a tribute to the 6 trophies he'd won in 8 years before being sacked for the infamous bung episode. Now, almost 2 years later, Graham has the task of bringing some of that success to Leeds. The visitors couldn't have got off to a worse start. In less than 2 minutes, newcomer Patrick Vieira burst through the Leeds defence to set up Lee Dixon. The finish was clinical. Joy for Arsenal. But George Graham and David O'Leary had some pointed questions that needed answering. But if the first goal came as a surprise, the second must have been devastating. With only 5 minutes gone, Dennis Bergkamp scored his first goal since coming back from a hamstring injury. By this time, George Graham must have been running out of paper and no doubt patience. On the day, Leeds were clearly no match for Arsenal. In fact, it took the Yorkshire club 40 minutes to have their first shot at goal, but it did give their fans something to sing about. Graham's notes must have come in handy at half-time. Within a minute of the second half, Lee Sharp had the perfect opportunity to put Leeds back in the game. Unfortunately for him, he didn't. Arsenal took advantage of that miss by Sharp and concluded what Graham described later as a nightmare return. Nigel Winterburn finds Dennis Bergkamp. He finds that man Ian Wright. But if the third goal from the Gunners' top scorer brought a smile to his manager's face, there was no such joy for the Leeds boss. His top scorer, Rod Wallace, had to leave the team coach en route to the game after hearing his wife had gone into labour. 3 points for the Arsenal. They're top of the league. It just wasn't George Graham's day.
Listen, I came here to work, and 3 points or even 1 point was my priority. And I didn't want my situation to cloud what was important. The important thing was the team, was Leeds United, and it wasn't a day for George Graham really. It was Leeds United I wanted to do well.
When he got the reception that he did get, it did make me feel like, oh, that's nice. You know, it was nice of them to give him a reception like that. But once the game kicked off, I completely forgot. I even shouted something to David O'Leary.
It's not often that the capital's top 2 are also the country's top 2, but if Wimbledon win this game, that's going to be the way of it. This is the sort of occasion they love. Big names putting big reputations at risk, and a sellout crowd to see it. 5 of the Arsenal team are in the England squad for the trip to Georgia. They include Ian Wright, who celebrates his 33rd birthday tomorrow. In 7 games here since leaving Crystal Palace, he's scored 7 times. Arsenal are unchanged. Seaman, Platt, Merson and the recalled Adams are the others heading for Tbilisi. The defence has regained its reputation for meanness. Those players haven't conceded a league goal in more than 8.5 hours. Joe Kinnear believes that having a settled team has contributed to Wimbledon's rise. No changes today. The biggest threat to the Arsenal backline should be the pace of Ikoko and Gale. The entire team cost less than Dennis Bergkamp. The referee's mileage claim shouldn't be excessive. Paul Alcock comes from just down the A23. The winners of this will be top of the Premiership tonight. If it's a draw, Arsenal will stay there. It is a fairly breezy afternoon, which may have something of an influence on the game we're about to see. Gale. For Bold to deal with. Oh, Ikoko nipped in. Down he goes. Now what does the referee say? Vinnie Jones is rushing towards the referee, claiming a penalty. And Paul Alcock, with the earliest possible decision to have to make, says no. Less than 10 seconds gone as Gale headed it on. And Bold was so careless. He allowed it to bounce. He plainly didn't see Ikoko. Round he went, and there was contact made. Wimbledon perhaps slightly unlucky. Jones with the long throw. Again, Ikoku's in there. And it's a corner. And what a shaky start for Arsenal. It's not as if they don't know what to expect. Ardley with it. Towards Jones. Earl battling for it. Header by Dixon. And the volley by Vieira. In goes Perry. Now Gale. And even then Seaman's handling wasn't too certain. This is just the opening that Wimbledon and Joe Kinnear would have wanted to really put the wind up their illustrious visitors. And with Bold off the field for the moment with a head injury, Vieira is playing as one of 3 centre-halves. Thatcher. Gale, good header on. Dixon battling with Leonardson. Right. Now Merson. This is where Perry needs to be watchful. Keogh. Thatcher. Earl. Met by Adams. Bergkamp. Intercepted by Cunningham. And Wimbledon have men forward here. Earl screaming for it in the centre. This is Ikoku. Good tackle by Vieira. It's a really full-blooded start to this London derby. Vieira for Wright, who's got away from Perry. Here's Ian Wright. He scored! Recalled by England yesterday. His 33rd birthday tomorrow. And a scorer today for Arsenal. Visits to Selhurst Park since leaving here after being a Crystal Palace player, and now 8 goals to his credit. He loves returning to his old stomping ground, and that's a classic finish. And Vieira brought the ball out of his own defence, played it forward, split the defence, and you can rely on Ian Wright from there. Well, Vieira has been playing at centre-back. He's also set up the goal, and now he can revert to midfield as Steve Bold rejoins the fray. Perry, good header this time. Right. On Leonardson's forelock. After that nasty gash on his forehead, Steve Bold needs further treatment. Dixon, Merson, Bergkamp, back to Merson, good play this by Arsenal. And out ultimately by Blackwell. Merson is proving to be a potent force. Bergkamp. Here's Wright. Oh, good save by Sullivan. Ian Wright seemed to have no right, no pun intended, to actually get to that cross. It seemed to be beyond him, but somehow he made it. Two wins and a draw in the Premiership so far under Arsene Wenger. Winterburn. Merson. This time flat is the runner. Thatcher covers. None too effectively. This is Dixon. Right available in the penalty area. Still it's Dixon. And it's behind for a corner. Wimbledon have 10 men back to defend this corner that Winterburn is going to take. Adams, Keown and Bold all forward. There's Adams, off the line by Thatcher. Winterburn again. This time it's the goalkeepers. Well, the goalkeeper was beaten, and when Winterburn swung in the corner, Adams rose highest of all, and Thatcher was the last line of defence. Ardley. Jones. Hardly looked. Came off Adams. It might be a corner. Yes, it is. Ardley with the corner. Bold's header straight back to Ardley. Still Wimbledon with plenty of men forward. Is that handball? I think it was. The referee's assistant on the far side spotted that, by Merson. So this is better than a corner. Ardley again. Oh, and as it's crept in. Vinnie Jones got there. How did that creep beyond Seaman? It was Ardley's free kick. There were bodies flying all over the place, and Vinnie Jones was missed by two defenders, and Seaman got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. How Jones will enjoy that moment. It's 1-1. Merson. Dixon. Vieira. Bergkamp. Came off the shins of Blackwell. That's a little silly by Thatcher. Bergkamp seemed to be doing his best just to get out of the way. And the referee, in fact, has blown the half-time whistle in the midst of all that hullabaloo. And Vinnie Jones' goal in the last minute of the first half has restored parity for Wimbledon, who might have had a first-minute penalty. They didn't get that, and they promptly conceded a goal to Ian Wright, coolly finished off from Vieira's lovely through pass. And at half-time, it's 1-1. The normal form in this fixture is for Arsenal to win here and for Wimbledon to do pretty well at Highbury. But at 1-1, which way is this game going to swing? Fresh bandage for Steve Bold for this second half. Dixon. Keogh. Wright gave it, and now it's returned, Ian Wright. Not too many strikers would even have got a shot on target from that sort of position. But when Merson knocked it through, there was an inevitability that Sullivan would be tested. Adams. Cunningham. No one there, apart from Bold. Cunningham has twice blocked it, not the third time. Here's Vieira. Merson. Bergkamp's made a run through the centre. They're hanging off Merson, though. On occasions, Wimbledon are almost encouraging Merson to run at them. It's a risky policy. Bold. Merson. Bergkamp. Platt. This is sweet from Arsenal. Merson again. Wright pulling away in the middle. Here is Wright. Now can he turn? He can. Suspicion of handball by Blackwell. Leonardson battling with Vieira, who appeared to shove him over. Jones took the free kick far too quickly. Bergkamp. Koku. On Adams. Shoving the back by Leonardson on Platt. Play goes on. There could be arguments if Wimbledon score from this. Leonardson's cross. Ikoku's header. Referee Olcott wasn't far away from this challenge. cued, and it's a corner, really, when there was no great danger. 5 Wimbledon players inside the penalty area. Ardley to take the corner. 2 got in each other's way. Gale. Earl goes up. Well played by Seaman. And Arsenal didn't like the challenge, and now this is all getting rather out of hand. Keown prominent, so too was Ben Thatcher of Wimbledon. And Robbie Earl and David Seaman actually shaking hands to say no hard feelings for the initial challenge. Martin Keown is the man being spoken to. This was Gale hooking it in. Earl challenged. Didn't seem to be anything particularly wrong with the challenge on Seaman. But then Keown followed through on Earl as he fell to the ground. And Adams was in there quickly as well. Advantage. Right. Here's Merson on his left foot. Good finish by Paul Merson. Gets his 5th goal of the season. Ian Wright was actually tumbled over inside the penalty area in the follow-up to the goal. That won't bother him because Arsenal are back in the lead and could well be staying on top of the Premiership pile. The referee allowed play to continue when he might have blown for a free kick. That proved to be a good decision, and it was a fine, driven, angled shot. Here's Ardley. Bold gets it away. Cunningham. Meet angles now with Winterburn. Free kick to Wimbledon. Passions are running high. Ardley with it. Seaman punched. Thatcher came off Bold. Jones with the throw. Adams met that so firmly. Jones. Arsenal failed to clear. Earl. Gale with the header. He's bundled it in. Ben Thatcher was in there as well. Gale is lying prone on the goal line. But amidst the chaos, what is certain is that Wimbledon have equalised again, and it's 2-2. Jones took the initial throw, it came back to him. There was the centre. Platt failed to get the clearing header in effectively. Earl poked it back in, and there's Marcus Gale arriving. And then he seemed to just touch it in with his follow-through inadvertently. It's been that sort of day. And now Chris Perry has received a yellow card for another off-the-ball incident. Merson with the free kick. Have they picked up Bold? Only Ikoku had. Adams, Bold and Keown all in and around the 6-yard box. Keeper flailing at it. Vieira. Merson. Jones. Here's Bold. Took a deflection and was probably going wide anyway. Well, for many reasons, this is becoming a rip-roaring London derby. Some of those reasons are somewhat illegitimate. Cunningham strikes it long for Earl. Keown's the defender. Oh, nearly put in Leonardson. I think Leonardson only realises now just what a good chance that was. As Keown tried to hold him off the ball, Earl was in there as well. The header back fell short, and one would have thought that should have been a corner. Merson in so much space. Thatcher quickly denied him space, and that's it. Arsenal twice ahead. Ian Wright scoring to celebrate his England call-up and his forthcoming birthday tomorrow. And Joe Kinnear walks off knowing that another chance has slipped by to go top. But 2-2 against Arsenal is a highly creditable result. For their part, the Gunners stay on top of the table. And after a rip-roaring game, it's handshakes all round and applause all round. 2-2.
Wimbledon plays very scientifically. That means when the ball is in the box, we have a chance to score. So they do it. Maybe some players are a little bit frustrated, but they are good at doing it and very brave, and you have to respect that.
I think we're getting the respect that we deserve, and we're playing some decent football. The boys are in fine mood, their confidence is sky high, and we fancy our chances against anybody at the moment, and this was going to be a real stern test for us today. But we showed unbelievable courage to come back twice, and at times looked like that we had a possibility of winning the match.
Do you feel hard done by? You might have had a penalty inside 20 seconds.
Well, I thought it was really. I think Baldy let it go through, and the Chiefs gone through with lightning pace, and the only way Seaman has stopped him from scoring in many respects is to bring him down. Another point during that incident, I think the referee was still in his own half. I don't think he was up with play. I mean, if you look at the video tonight, it'd be interesting to see just how far back the referee was.
We admire them more than anybody in the league. You know, we look to sort of emulate them. And today we matched them at home. You know, we've had a couple of bad results against them here at Selhurst. We've done well at their place, and we thought if we're going to have a good season this year, we've got to start here and, you know, and keep the run going. That's 12 without defeat now.
Are you at all disappointed that again you've not quite managed to get on top of the pile?
Well, yeah, but you know, the banana skin gets bigger. The further up the league you go, the banana skin gets bigger.
Presumably, to call you happy at the moment would be an understatement. Called up by England, goal today, birthday tomorrow. Do you expect to play?
I'm just going to be happy. I'm just happy to be in the squad. It's taken me 2 years to get back in there, and I'm just going to try and get my feet back in there and try and stay in there as long as I can. I'm not expecting anything until he says any different.
And birthday celebrations?
Well, no, I'm not going to really do anything. I'm just going to chill out, I think. Every time you play Wimbledon, you need a little bit of a break.
He's going to chill out. There was plenty of excitement in that one, Garth. I suppose you'd call it a full-blooded encounter, wouldn't you?
Well, I've seen a lot of the games between these two teams. I've seen Wimbledon, I've seen Arsenal already this season. And it was always going to be a tough encounter, and it was.
Yeah. But there was one player that stood out for you, this Vieira, who Arsenal have signed. He looks real quality. Absolutely
right. I was impressed when I saw him last week against Leeds. And in this clip here, we see he gets the rub of the green very early on. He tries to play David Platt in, and the ball comes back to him. What I like about him, he has a lot of composure. He's a tall lad. He's probably about 6'1", 6'2". He's 20 years of age, and he has no fear about going forward and trying to get into the opponent's box. Now here he's well out of the opposition's box, but he's running alongside Merson. He gets in advance of Wright. Merson shoots. Sullivan saves, but who's the man who's trying to pick up the bits? It's Patrick Vieira. The second clip here, you see Vieira already tracking back, thinking about making a tackle. Lukaku's on the ball. Now, the tackle he does make, we see here, is a very, very well-timed tackle. Now, he turns from being a defender to an attacker here. Again, retains his composure. Jones is now backing off. And all of a sudden, he goes past one player, and it seems as though Wimbledon are beginning to panic. He ignores Merson. He sees the ball that we have to play. And Wimbledon are entitled to panic here because in this position, Wright can do all sorts of damage, and he dispatches the ball, as we can see, very, very well. But it's Patrick Vieira who actually makes the impact there. It
was a great finish, though.
Yes, it was superb.
Now, Vieira's only 20, as you say. I think he comes from Senegal originally, but he's played for France under-21s, hasn't he? But he's likely to play for France in the future, isn't he?
Oh, no doubt. He reminds me of Marcel Desailly, you know. He's got a bright future, I think.
OK. And Ian Wright has had a bright past and is having a bright current time and will have a bright future as well by the looks of things. I mean, he's still in terrific form, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a breath of fresh air for the game. I like this effort here. He somehow gets his heel to the ball. He improvises very, very well. I think it's a hallmark of a good striker who just tries to get a shot in any way he can. Here, as soon as that ball comes off his chest, he's looking to get in. Now, the ball's not a great ball, and from the other angle, you see how straight it is, but he improvises and he gets his shot in and forces the save. He really is playing at the top of his game.
Our man Albert tells me he's got 157 goals in 233 games. That's some record in the modern game.
Almost as good as mine.
He didn't tell me about yours. I've forgotten yours, Garth. But if we're talking about enthusiasm for the game, which Wright certainly got, what about Vinny? Vinny keeps going. He seems to have improved as a player, actually.
I think he has definitely improved. Yeah. He impressed me here today. There's a long throw coming here from the left, and he knows all about that, and he's in the perfect position to defend this. The ball comes in. Now, he only half clears this, and he recognises it, and he's out like a shot to the edge of the box, and he makes a great tackle here with Vieira of all people, and he clears the danger. And I think it's so important. It's a big feature of his game. He also affects things in the opposition's area. Here the ball comes in, good flighty ball, good contact header, gets his second goal of the season, and bearing in mind he only scored 3 last year, he's doing very well. It's not even Christmas.
And Wimbledon having a